Cryptocurrency and Blockchain by Logan Andriot. Overview. I'm going to run you through what is. It's just taking you through a few definitions. A brief history of cryptocurrency. A brief introduction to the technology and how a transaction occurs. I'm going to update you on the current scoop of crypto. We're going to look at the forecast for the future of cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, and talk about a little bit of the impact of the security features. Talk about some ethical considerations from Bitcoin and its history. The conclusion and my beliefs. I'll have some questions for the class to answer, and I'll have all my references listed so you guys can look up what I'm saying. What is cryptocurrency? It's a digital or virtual currency that is encrypted, and it's designed to work as a medium of exchange. It uses cryptography to secure and control creation of new units of the currency itself. What is cryptography? Cryptography is a technique or a practice that is used to secure data or a source of communication. It's used to design algorithms and ciphers to code sensitive data. What is encryption? It is the process in which cryptographers transfer secure data into code. Today it is much more complex, and usually the aid of a computer is needed to help create or decipher. A key is needed to decipher. Brief history of cryptocurrency. In 2009, a single programmer or a group of programmers, still unknown to today, introduced this concept of Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency. They introduced this concept under the alias Satoshi Nakamoto. The group described it as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Since its formation, approximately 2,000 different forms of cryptocurrency have been introduced and used as form of currency. Introduction to the technology. Blockchain is a decentralized digital record of transactions. Each individual data set then gets put into a block, and after each transaction is complete, the blocks are then linked together into a chain. Now, I'll walk you through how a transaction occurs. So first of all, you need a receiver and a sender. The transaction consists of their wallet addresses. Both parties then need to verify that they want to do this transaction, and they need to sign off on it using a private key. The transaction then needs to be confirmed before it gets posted to the blockchain network. In order for the transaction to be confirmed, miners are needed. Miners are the only thing that can confirm this transaction. Miners are the hardware that is used in the process. They solve difficult cryptographic puzzles to verify that the transaction is legitimate, and then will proceed. Once the puzzle has been solved and the transaction is deemed legitimate, then every node is published to the network, and the transaction becomes an irreversible transaction, and it is permanently documented. If there is any problem during this transaction and no full consensus is met, That means the sender's private key to the receiver's public key and their decipher codes. If all of this is not met up, the transaction won't occur. This slide shows how a blockchain transaction occurs, just with less detail. So take a minute and read over it. Now, I'd like to update you and inform you on cryptocurrency events and news that have happened recently. On this part, I'm going to mainly talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to drive the cryptocurrency market. Well, anyways, in May of 2020, Bitcoin halved. Well, what is Bitcoin halving? This is a self-adjustment to inflation over time. It's a design system. The design system is designed to only have 21 million Bitcoins formulated over time. Currently, there are 17 in circulation, 17 million in circulation. That means the other 4 million are either up for grabs for the general public to purchase, or they need to be formulated through the mining expeditions of mining companies. The design of the system is based off of supply and demand curve. So, as the supply of Bitcoin dwindles, the demand thus goes up and increases the value. Historical data has shown that 12 to 15 months after halving, Bitcoin hits all-time new highs. That last slide was just the information on Bitcoin itself. Now, moving forward, we're starting to see a lot more institutions become a part of cryptocurrency. For instance, PayPal started accepting forms of cryptocurrency as payment on its platform in parts of the world. And currently they are in talks with potential partnerships with central banking. JP Morgan just rolled out its first form, the first form of U.S. bank-backed currency. Square announced publicly a large investment in crypto. They put $50 million into Bitcoin. Crypto forecast and the impact on blockchain technology. On the right of the slide is a forecast for Bitcoin from now until 2032. In comparison with other analysts had much more drastic increase in values over time. The most drastic that I saw was $1 million by 2037. Obviously, much would have to happen from now until then for that value to proceed. But in the meantime, I'm a firm believer that the price of Bitcoin will increase. And with that increase of value comes an increase of threat of hackers and people who are going to attempt to steal your cryptocurrency. With that being said, I believe the structure of blockchain technology and the security features it has to offer will greatly be enhanced. I think the cryptographic puzzles that need to be solved by the miners will get much more difficult. The decipher key might add a few more steps, and there might be a few more verification things as we move through. Who knows? This concept is still young and it's slowly adapting to the world. Now, ethical consideration. Prior to the decentralization of Bitcoin and blockchain, back in the origin dates of Bitcoin, I'm speaking more specifically 2010, 2011, Bitcoin was the primary form of currency used on a website called Silk Road. Silk Road was a website used for drug trafficking. So with it being decentralized at that point, the transactions could be overlooked and not documented. So it was a form of untraceable currency for illegal activities to take place, such as the Silk Road website itself. The picture posts an example of what I'm talking about. It literally just has all types of drugs, cannabis, whatever, and you could literally use Bitcoin and purchase it. So in conclusion, we learned that blockchain technology is very secure technology. Without proper keys and deciphering tools, cryptographic puzzles won't get solved, and therefore transactions won't occur. The forecast for cryptocurrency puts a target on cryptocurrency for hackers, and over time, as it starts to get adapted and used more worldwide as a currency, I believe the security behind it will only be enhanced and get better over time. Now I have a few questions for the class. First, what is your opinion of cryptocurrency? Do you think that one day the world will adopt such a thing as a prime form of currency? Are you open to using cryptocurrency? And do you have any concerns on it? Was there anything from the presentation that you did not understand? I'll gladly do my best in the discussion forum to answer them. And finally, here are my resources that I use.